Greetings, it's me. We're going to show you Omnisphere 1.5 and OmniTR. Check it out. Omnisphere is our flagship synthesizer, and today we are taking it to a whole new level with Omnisphere 1.5. And what we're doing is we're expanding the synthesis features, taking what's already one of the most powerful instruments in the world, one of the most powerful synths, and making it better sounding, a lot more interactive, and even easier to use. So it's very, very cool. Probably the most innovative feature in Omnisphere 1.5 is called the Orb. Give you a little idea of what that looks like. It's very, very cool, new kind of circular interface. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But before I get into that, I just want to show that we have a new browser mode. We've responded to a lot of requests of people wanting to see more attributes at once. So we have a new five-column browser mode, which helps organize your sounds. And that's important because we're always adding sounds. In fact, this Omnisphere 1.5, we're bringing the total of sounds, of patches, over 5,000 patches, 8,000 total sounds, which is pretty incredible because we started just a couple years ago with 800 patches. So this instrument is just growing like crazy. So that's very, very cool. And the neat thing about Omnisphere is that it's not a compromise. Like sometimes you get a synthesizers that have a lot of presets, but they're not very programmable. Or on the other hand, you have an instrument that's maybe very really powerful, but it doesn't come with a lot of useful sounds. Our idea with Omnisphere is you have an awesome library, but it's also a sound designer's dream for making your own sounds. And so we've expanded the synthesis features quite a bit. So let's take a look at some of those. And I'm going to do a couple of examples here, just starting from super basic dry waveforms and just show you what some of these new features do. So let's look at Harmonia. We have a new Harmonia Zoom. And Harmonia lets you add up to 10 oscillators, to have 10 oscillators per patch. So this new Zoom lets you see all of the parameters of those oscillators per layer. So we'll start with this basic sawtooth wave there. And let's add some more oscillators. That's sounding nice. And what we can do now is we can actually modulate each one of those oscillators independently. So I'm going to modulate each of these with their own LFO. So every oscillator's got its own LFO. And just to give you a quick example here, that whole thing started from, right? So that's just the sound of the synth. There's no samples there. That's all just the internal synthesis engine. So very, very powerful there. We've also expanded the wave shaping capabilities. So the new wave shaper has its own Zoom page as well. It's got all the features of the original wave shaper plus polyphonic bit crushing and sample rate reduction. So we can take something like this sine wave, and let's go ahead and put this through a little bit crushing. Let's modulate that with an envelope. And we'll put the sample rate reduction on this here. And we'll put an envelope on that. And that's all from this basic sine wave. So you can really mangle the sound now in some very cool ways. All right, let's jump here quickly to the new granular synthesis features. Now, a lot of people don't understand granular synthesis, but it's basically the way it works is you're just taking a sound and splitting it up into tiny grains, little teeny bits of audio, and all of those grains can be rearranged in a lot of different ways. So the new granular Zoom, we have a lot of brand new features in here, new modes. But one of the neatest things is we have this visualizer so we can see actually what's going on. So if let's take something like a speech example.
You need Omnisphere to travel the dimensions.
Okay, and we'll take that and we'll...
You need Omnisphere to travel You need
So a lot of fun. You can also use it for, of course, for musical things as well. It's not just for effects. For instance, let's take sound like this. We'll take a South American cavaqueño, really beautiful sound. And let's put some granular synthesis on it. And we can turn it into all these kind of cool tremolo type things. And I'll just move some parameters around here. Put some pitch gradients on there. So that's a lot of fun. So the synthesis is really expanded significantly in Omnisphere 1.5. And so let's take a look at the orb, because this is really one of the funnest features that we have. And it's something different. So let's let me load this up here. And this ties into another new announcement that we're going to do. It'll be on a separate video. That is OmniTR, which is our new iPad app, okay? And the orb lives in both. So you can see I've got the orb here. And I'm going to go ahead and select this sound here. And you can see that if I move the orb, moves on the iPad. And I can move the iPad and it moves the orb. Okay, so what is the orb? The orb is a circular controller, but it's intelligent. And what it does is it analyzes the patch that you're using and creates incredible sound variations with just a single control. And it's easier to see what it does and listen than it is to explain. So check this out. We'll start with this sound here. And let's see what we got. Yeah, let me just select this one. All right. So here's the original sound. Okay, we'll go over to the orb. And what we'll do is we'll start moving the orb around. And the orb can have inertia, so I can actually flick it. Check this. Now what's so cool is that I didn't program those sound changes. The orb did that on its own. So check this out. So here's... We'll take a sound like this that's, here's, so that the orb is doing that. Let's say I wanted to do something different. I just roll the dice, and when I roll the dice, it'll come up with all sorts of different variations. So it's super cool and extremely fun kind of way to work. And you can record the movements of the orb. And it's just a real interactive way to work. You can also use it as a mod source and program it, from scratch if you want. But this is something that anybody can use. If you understand a circle and a rectangle, you understand the orb. Okay, so all of this, once again, we've got expanded synthesis features. For harmonia, for new wave shaping options, new granular. We've got a huge library of patches, tons of new patches, bringing the total to over 8,000 sounds. And the orb and all kinds of support for polyphonic aftertouch and all sorts of controllers. All of this is free to registered users and will be available on February 15th. So thank you very much. Okay.